Okay, morning everybody. Michelle here. Just woke up and I figured this is the best time to do a video. Michelle here, teacher from US who moved last year to Ghana. So I am sharing how I moved. I have shared how I moved and I'm sharing different things about living in Ghana. Now, I want to give a update on the property and say something about caring for the property as it regards um, to Ghanaians. You have to work with Ghanaians one way or the other. You have to interact with Ghanaians one way or the other. So it's not a place where you're going to come and expect that you're going to isolate yourself. Well, I don't expect you to want to come here and isolate yourself, but um, about two plots, everybody should know that by now. Property, right? The house is progressing, right? My temporary fence is up, had to, and this is the focus of what I want to talk about. Not the land per se, but dealing with the Ghanaians, right? So while I'm giving an update on the property, I've mentioned this, my potato bed here that I reaped recently. The one vine of pumpkin that was left after I stirred up everything, and the one vine, what the one vine turned out to be. So this is it now. I really don't want it to go across the fence because I ain't running it down over there. And this thing just spring up, especially when the rain falls. This is my papa tree. Another potato bed, right? I moved my tank from around the front. That's my work there, me and my daughter, right? The unused tiles, my sugar cane, my chicken coop, my cassava there again, and beside the coop over there, right? So I've been working on the fence. This is my callaloo bed, right? And let me tell you, every day I get callaloo from this. Every day. The peppers are in now, so I have peppers among it, as well as on this side. I'm trying to bring back my tomato patch. Um, can somebody tell me a little bit about it too? I get the impression that after it's reaped, all the vines, the potato dry up and I have to start over. But I do notice that some of them they crop back up, right? So from the dried areas or some of the dried areas, you see fresh plants coming up. Do those plants bear fruit? That's a question. I got also some spinach, but this spinach is not familiar to me. That one there, right? And when they came up like this with those seeds on it first, I got rid of, well, it dried up for some reason. And then all of a sudden, I have quite an amount of patches coming up with it. Do you just pick the leaves and cook it and eat it or put it in your salad and just keep growing it like that with the seed? That's the question I want to ask. So those persons who know about spinach can tell me. Here now, we weeded this yesterday, and let me tell you something. For those persons who are not really fit, if please don't think you can tackle the yard by yourself. I think I'm fit. I really think I'm fit. But what I'm noticing is it's not easy to keep up. Not at all. I prefer weeding from the root. But let me tell you, no matter how you pick from the root, soon as you clear one area and move, I clear the back, move to the front, and by the time I finish the front, I'm after back. So it's this rotation. You keep rotating the work and keep doing what you're doing. This is my nice. It's coming, but I don't know what it's gonna be like. It looked tiny. I don't know. I know there's a breed of of tuna that they keep in pots. So I don't even know if that specifically has to be kept in a pot. Somebody gave me a piece and I put it there. So I'm watching it. And everywhere you throw tomato, not tomato, lime seeds. And you throw them, they come up, they crop up, right? So I turned into another callaloo plot. Melon seeds were thrown, but they don't seem to thrive a lot. I don't know if it's a specific there's a specific way for it, but I noticed none of the vines survive, the melon vines, when you throw the seeds on the ground. All right, but I'm gonna keep trying because there are so many things on this property. Yeah, this is my chicken coop. Yeah, I have 2 chicken in there. Let me see if I can. Yeah, right. I want to try and be as quick as possible. Now this, hold on. All right, yeah. Now this is my challenge. These, right? I was thinking of allowing the grass to grow in the pathways. You know, these matted grass, and get a weed whack and trim them. But I hear snakes move better and they love to move on the grass. So I think I'm going to adjust how I do it. Over there bushed up so fast, it was ridiculous. And the amount of work that was there and is there now despite. This is another sweet potato patch. So I think I showed persons my cocoa plants. I have a couple of those. So this is the back of the yard. Now the thing is, because I decided that to try to tackle constant trimming, I decided that I'm going to need help. Hence the entrance of the Ghanaians. They have been there, but I try to minimize my interactions with them for 2 reasons. One, it's not annoying. I think it's rude how they deliberately, especially if they are around you with other Ghanaians. I think it's rude how they start talking and laughing in their language with you standing there. And some of the times, make no joke about it, they are discussing you. I know that for a fact. And they're laughing while they're doing it. So it's very unnerving. But another thing I have a problem with is their lack of boundaries, right? So I was sitting, 3 incidences that it sparks weariness in me regarding interacting with them and allowing. And probably 4. I'll try and see if I can how quickly I can run through them. 1, when they come to the house, they come around. You know, people come to your house, they stop on the front and they knock on your front door or call so that you can come. They don't stay at the front. Remember now, this is your backyard. I don't know about anybody else, but as a Jamaican, your backyard are your backyard. Nobody just come in your backyard, right? Unless there was a pre-arrangement for somebody to video you, I say, okay, come straight around the back. That's how I know it. But these Ghanaians know will come, and let me tell you, I'll be in my house in the back bedroom, especially recently, in a state of undress, and suddenly I see a shadow just heading to the back. You pass, you glimpse them at the window there, the side window at the back room. So there are, and my daughters are the same. So we'd all be scrambling to grab something to put on because suddenly there's this visitor who you never expected, but who turned up, and not only turned up, but head to the back of your yard. Another time I was in the back, I think we bathed and came out here with something, state of undress again. And just as we went back in and closed the door, we see somebody just turn around the back there. And it reminded me when I just came here, and I think I mentioned it already they just walked through the property. That is before I put up the temporary fencing. And it's another reason why I went on this side, not just the back, but I started putting up things on this side because you have hunters coming through and they just walk to your property. That thing marks the boundary of my first two plots, that big thing there. And I know I hesitate to call it tree, but I guess it's still a tree. And I came home and saw the hunters sitting below it, you know, conversating. Yeah, big conversation going on with them, gathered around the bat of the tree there. And since I was going to put the coop there, I decided I was going to have this temporary fence put up. So all the boards that got tossed here, and they're not my boards, but I think the owner decided that they didn't want it because they were rotting. But they're not completely rotted through, so I use them there, right? And then between last week now, this is the post that I put up. So I'm slowly finding bamboo. I'm going to get more bamboo. Whatever I find, I put on it, because while I'm going to be buying the mesh, the less I buy, the less it costs me, right? Less of a cost I have, right? So they used to just come through the back of the property and pass me by like they were not walking through my property. It was very unnerving. And many times I stood and just watched them pass. And they don't say morning, afternoon, or evening. And let me tell you, they know how to say morning, afternoon, or evening. Because you have some, and I believe there are some who have a problem with us being here. And there are some who embrace us being here. So you have to keep that at the back of your mind too. You have two or three of them walking, and two quickly see you, and they say, Mamuachi, or they have very many variations of saying morning or hi. And then there are some who say, how are you? I'm fine, and so on. They know that dialogue, right? So you have to be careful how you interact with them, because it's like if you allow them, my mother say, you give them an inch, them take a mile. If you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile. You have to be I believe I have to be very careful how I deal with them. Another time, another incident outside of that one, you tell them to come here. I'm gonna use the most recent ones. There have been incidences before. Let me use the recent one. They were supposed to come here to put in the bars for the bathroom curtain, shower curtain, and it came here with somebody was driving their Babuya that took the regular bar. The mason who helped with the tiling of the room, and this other guy, don't know him, don't know what his purpose was. But what was annoying was he had nothing particular doing here, and he was just walking through my space like he lived here. And then when they walk through, they're looking and they're just glancing all around the place like this. Very annoying. Very unnerving too, considering rumors of them coming, checking out your place and deciding what they're gonna take. And of course, I have experienced people coming in and taking stuff, right? Now, the most recent one that led me to, specifically mention this in a video, I met a gentleman some weeks ago. Another Emmanuel, right? So this one I use his profession to identify him. So not just Emmanuel 1, 2, and 3, but another Emmanuel, and I use his profession to identify him. I like the fact that he came to visit, very intelligent, spoke more English than most, and he came with another person. But again, they just walk around the back. I had to talk to him about that. They were talking. We had a long conversation. Of course, one of the things I'm finding out, because I have daughters, everybody's interested in the daughters, and they don't seem to have age restrictions here. So my granddaughter is targeted. My 18-year-old is definitely targeted. They have the eyes on her. And the older one that moves around, and as I said, she's the main breadwinner right now. Everybody wants to marry her. Yeah. So what guy came, started a conversation with me, and then described that he didn't really come here to speak to me. It was my daughter. When my daughter finished speaking to him, um, long conversation, I was wondering why the stranger having such a long conversation with my daughter. So of course, she usually tells me about these conversations. So she explained to me that he wants to marry her. Yeah. Yeah. And by the second contact, he was saying, "Oh, my love," and "baby," and those terms. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with people saying baby and whatever. You know, those are the terms of endearment if you're in a relationship. But I don't understand why, and it's not the first time it happened. You have a Ghanaian who says they like you, and suddenly you're a baby and honey, and they're telling you they love you and things like that. Very unnerving. But anyway, he came, and through him yesterday, I got a young lady to weed the yard. The work from yesterday, right? So she was saying that she could do it in a day. Not all of it, because I said I wanted her to do the front along this side, starting here, right? Going up to near the fencing there and across the over there. The thing was, she didn't get to over there near at all. This is where they stopped. Because she came in the afternoon, which was very surprising, because I thought she would come in the morning, do her stuff for the day, and that was it. What was unnerving was when she did appear, she came with, he did say she was going to have somebody help her. So she came with the person who was to help her, right? Someone about her age, right? And another young lady, younger than them, don't know what the relationship was, but she came with them. There was another one who I wasn't sure was a boy or a girl. But I later think it's a girl. So it was those two who were supposed to be the main persons who did the work that I was supposed to pay for. Two other young ladies and four babies. Four babies. And when they came in, I was like, oh my God. No. Sometimes workers come here and you don't have to provide water. They bring their water and do their stuff, which is what I think should be done. I don't think I should be responsible for finding water for workers. Don't get me wrong. If somebody come here with the water and they finish, I don't have a problem providing it. But when they come here with the expectation and you're not prepared for it, what happens to my water? Because then now, sometimes I'm down to one bag of water and I have no money to replenish my stock. And then you have people come here unexpectedly and expect you to provide water, which becomes a problem. That is the problem I'm having. No, she came with all these babies. And the problem was, the side here that she's working on already. This here is my, I transplanted recently. My pawpaw tree, another pawpaw there. You see the size of them? So, and one there, my neem tree here. So I had to be careful how they weeded this side, because I did not want them to weed and damage any of the plants that I went through the trouble of putting here, right? But when I looked up another time, the babies were in over this side and they had sticks going around and just whipping, you know. Yeah, you know, baby's gonna copy what you do. But it was done as far as I'm seeing. Everything was, you know. But the fact that they appeared with all those babies crowd the yard, and then what became another issue was I was impressed with the fact that they came with water. But based on what the amount of water they had, I didn't figure they would have. And guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about giving them water. I need that understood. Even my tank, I have a tank there, and I know around here don't have water. And I don't mind giving people water. I don't mind giving people, but water is there. God provided. I had to pay for it. Borehole, getting the borehole, I had to pay for it. But I don't have a problem people coming here and saying, Madam, can I get some water? And I have given water when it's asked for. What I do have a problem with is they'll come on your land and just head for your pipe and fill it. And that is the minute they realize that you're not here, they will just walk on your property, go to your water source, and just full of all kind of containers. And that is a habit that I have, right? So the water is not my issue. Given the water, it's a fact that unbeknownst to me, with no preparation, they turn up with all these babies. At one point, one of the young ladies knocked on the door and called, because I was watching, so I was in and out. I was inside this time, and they knock on the door, I called, and they do it like they don't wait. Like they can't wait for you to come. Because when when the gentleman called me and said she said she was on her way and she'll be there soon, I wasn't fully dressed. So I started putting on something. And by the time I was putting on my shorts, I heard them, gathering in the yard and knock on the door. And by the time they knocked the one time, the girl was pulling the door just as I was pulling my clothes up. So little things like that annoys me. It's like they don't understand. I don't want to call it etiquette. Is it etiquette? But they don't have boundaries. Boundaries is a wider term and covers a whole lot more things that are not totally specific. I prefer using that. They don't have any boundaries. So I came out, and that's when I saw all those persons. And halfway through doing it, doing what they were doing here, one of the young ladies called me, and when I came out, she was saying that she said it away, her say hungry, and then I realized that she's saying she's hungry. And I'm like, am I expected to feed them as well? So it's very uncomfortable. And again, no matter how I come out this early, I know the mosquitoes are here. And let me tell you, I can't see the mosquitoes, no, some tiny, tiny something. And they are the ones I hear that pass around malaria too. I still get bitten. I know my finger is burning, and here on my wrist is burning. I got 2 bites already. So that's why I was walking around and flipping, but I got taken up in what I was saying and forgot to continue, fanning with my work shirt. Yeah. So they don't know boundaries. They come to your yard, they walk on your property, they come to your backyard without you even realizing that anybody is in your yard. Came home, I think I mentioned it in one of the recent videos one day, and I saw about 10 or so hunters line up off the front of my property. So it boggles the mind that they don't think that it's necessary to, I don't know. The thing is too, I don't think when you talk to them, some of them understand the nuances of the conversation. So while I got another visitor last night, he came with the Emmanuel who, you know, sourced the help for the reading. Was here again, sitting in the back room reading. And I understand if they come to the front and they call in and they don't hear nobody. But keep calling her and edge to the side. So we looked up and we saw him, this person, this shadow, pass the side window and head to the back. So, another visitor who did that. So my worry is, and that is a thing. It reminded me of the taxi I took recently, who, and I think I mentioned this. They just, once you call them, they just jump and come. They don't want to give you a price. They don't want, so that by the time you get there, they get there to pick you up, they can tell you anything they want. So you have to think about those things when you come and interacting with the Ghanaians here. Think about them coming, what they're gonna bring. The guy who did the tiling, I had to say to him one day, I would prefer that you are careful about who you bring come here. The persons who are carrying to work, let them come and work. Don't bring any extras, because I have to be careful of how many men know about this and know about being in my house and what is in my house, and so I have to be careful. So you just bring your workers. Another thing he did was, we had numerous conversations about him coming here and doing a particular work, and the morning he came with somebody else to leave them to work. So I had to say to him, I say, you can't do that. If you tell me you're coming, you are what I'm expecting. If you're not coming for whatever reason, you need to let me know you are not one who's going to do the work, or you're going to bring a work, or whatever. You need to do that. I have to choose, you know. So I just decided that I was going to get up this morning and get this video over with, because it is something you have to contemplate and think about and deal with in Ghana when you move to Ghana. How you deal with it, what you can expect from them when they come here to do work, and how they interact when they come here, what they're looking for. Please, they're always looking for something. It's very annoying too. I told somebody recently that they, a friend from Jamaica, that they're always saying when you pass, money, money, money. Very annoying. It's just wrong. And the kids learn it and they say it, and it's the babies too. Every time you pass in, as little as they be, the person they say money, money, money. So we are money. That's all they see us as. A group, about 6 of them, came one day. I was working in the yard, and I saw them coming on the property as usual. They don't stay outside your fence. So you probably want to, once you buy a property, I think one of the first things you have to do is sort your fence out. Another first thing you have to, for the sake of your privacy, for the sake of your sense of safety, I think I can go as far as saying, I think you need, the first thing is your fencing, right? And I didn't mind that they came and said they were coming to say. I said, yes, can I help you? The mason, the previous mason I had, he was the one here, and I had to call them because they just appear and they talk, looking at you, milling around and casually, and like they're not leaving either. And I'm like, okay. So I called the mason and I said, find out why they're here now. They just come to greet me. And they were there making much, sitting. They like to itch up on you. If you don't like those kind of things, definitely you need to fence your house, so that if they come to your yard, they have to stay out the fence and say hi. Yeah. And they sit beside me, itch up beside you and things. Some of them, they like the closeness. They like the idea of being close to you. I don't know if it's an emotional or psychological thing, But the kids especially, they like being close to you. What I have a problem with is many of the times is to see what they can get from you. And I don't know how to differentiate that because the language barrier becomes a problem here. So they were sitting there and we were kind of getting along with interacting despite the language barrier. And they they told me the name. Um, they, they had encouraged me to repeat the name and pronounce their names, and it was okay. But at the back of my mind the entire time, I was wondering what they wanted, even though they said they only came to greet me, right? And that is one of the reasons why I'm afraid anybody come here, any Ghanaian come here and say, and they're gonna help me, because they don't just help. They offer to help, but then they ask you for this and they ask you for that, and then it's like the expectation is that you pay them. And let me tell you, I don't have money put down like that, so I can't just have somebody come and tell me, "Oh, you gotta pay me for this." I have to know I'm prepared to pay people for anything they do. So they were there for a while making fun. We were touching Dave. Carissa, she didn't like that. So eventually she went in and locked up. No, I came around the back. Carissa went back out and came back to say one was asking for money, another two or so were asking for biscuit. One of the older girls did say to the other one something in their language, Carissa said, and I guess in a sense reprimanding her for asking for money. But it was very, very, and it irritated me to the point that I just left, went inside and told the guy to tell them to leave. Yeah. I don't know if anybody disagree with how I dealt with it. To be honest, I don't know how I should have dealt with it or the best way to deal with it, but it's very unnerving. Very unnerving. They come near brain, know that the temporary fence is up. Two little kids came here, saw me, and I saw them coming, and I went back in. Because I know they want biscuit. Somebody start them on biscuit, and the village kids, when they see you, a lot of the times they want biscuit, biscuit, biscuit. I don't eat biscuits. My granddaughter eat biscuits, but when my daughter buys it for her, it's for her snacks. And I don't touch her snacks. So it's not that I would just take it. And believe me, when we buy the snacks, we are pray they last for the month. So we don't have to try to find money to buy them again. And they just came into the yard, true, because the fences doesn't go all the way down, and was knocking at the door. And I'm making a joke of it, knocking on the door and running it and giggling, and then they came and they were playing with the water from the I don't know, but I could go on and on about it. I just needed you guys to understand that it's like you have to protect yourself from certain familiarity with them as well, and you have to do it in a way, because I want to integrate here. I want to be a neighbor here. I want to help people here, but I need to find a stance to help from that encourages them to be neighbors, but understand that there are boundaries. They don't just walk into my place, walk into my house, walk into my yard, put the head in my window, put my head in my door. Bring you expect one or two, and they bring 5, 6, 7 persons to your yard. That's what I have a problem on. So I don't mind your thoughts on this. Um, is there a way you have dealt? Because I guess some of the persons who watch my videos, you have you have lived here, probably lived here longer than me. You are familiar with them, familiar with situations like this. So any advice you have to give, any comments that can shine a light on it, um, I welcome it. And I'll see you again on another video. Thank you.